All right, welcome back, everybody. It's 9:18 right now. You've heard that saying, don't dip your pen in the company's ink. Looks like that's a thing of the past with a career builder survey showing that almost, and this is surprising, 40% of workers have had an office fling. I'm joined now by matchmaker Erika Kybartas. It's from It's Just Lunch, and let's jump right in and talk about this. First of all, that phrase right there, don't dip your pen in the company's ink. We've heard that over and over again. I've even heard women say, don't get your honey where you get your money. so what is this, 40%?
I actually think it might be more. I think a lot of people don't admit to having office romances because it has been a little taboo. So it's probably more than that.
Exactly. So how do you straddle that fence of it not being sexual harassment, of trying to be personal and trying to be professional?
Well, my first tip is to avoid the boss. So I think that's a good place to start.
Don't do the boss. That would be
avoid the boss. And I think just in general, to avoid that, it could be, if things don't work out, it could be awkward for not only you, but also your coworkers as well, your other employees. And people tend to have a longer lasting relationship if they do date someone on their same level, in their same position.
Okay, so how often is it then that these relationships are successful? Because there's tension. I mean, when you're not getting along at home, of course it's going to affect your performance in the office.
Yes, and you want to keep it professional. I mean, if you are going to have that romance, make sure you keep it professional and try to keep it out of the office as much as possible, I would say.
Okay, so you have some do's and don'ts for everybody at home,
yes,
for all of us around here. The first one, would you say? You just said, don't do the boss.
Yes, avoid the boss. Avoid the boss. And my second tip would be to don't mess with the company policies. Some companies these days, you do have to go over the rules and regulations, I'd say, before you get into that, because you never know, it could even result in termination in some companies.
Exactly.
So before you turn up the heat with a coworker, make sure you know what kind of heat you're going to get into.
Should you? You got to really check the paperwork. Read the fine print, because you could lose your job. While you're gaining a relationship, you could lose your job.
Yes, you want to see if that's worth the risk.
What does that say then? It's in policies now.
It is.
It's happening that much. Okay, give us another tip.
Okay, so your next tip would be don't, and I'm an optimistic, I always say hope for the best, but do expect the worst. Only 30% of office romances lead to the altar. So consider that before you jump into this.
Gee whiz. So what happens then? And here's something else that happens. So many times we go out after work with our colleagues and say, let's have a drink while we talk about da-da-da-da-da, another project that we're all working on. You say, watch that.
Oh, I say do. I say do go to happy hours with your coworkers. Not only because I'm a huge happy hour enthusiast, I say you always should go out. But you have that work relationship. You spend so much time at work with your colleagues. It's normal to develop that chemistry. Have your work husband, your work wife. You might have that chemistry. So get out of the office and see if it's still there.
Yeah, but that's where sometimes things happen when there's alcohol involved.
Maybe
when everybody's relaxed, your guards are down.
Limit to a couple drinks.
Okay. Don't go up. And then your last tip before we let you go.
Yes, do be candid. If you do decide to venture into a relationship in the office, make sure you're on the same page. It could get really tense and really awkward really fast if you're not on the same page of what you're going to reveal about your relationship to the rest of your coworkers.
And then what if you are candid and you let that person know, I like you,
yes,
and they don't like you back? Then you've got to look over at them over the next cubicle.
You do. I mean, it can get awkward. So this is something you tread into lightly, but it is more common these days.
All right, good deal. Erika, give everybody your website address if they want more information on the do's and don'ts of what to do.
So it's justlunchchicago.com, and it's a busy season right now. It's getting warm out. Everyone wants to date.
Justlunch.com. Don't get your honey where you get your money. Thank you.